Have you ever heard a story from history that sounds so wild, so completely out there, you were sure it had to be a joke? Well, get ready, because today we're diving into 10 facts about famous historical figures that sound totally made up, but are 100% true. And trust me, you are not going to believe what we've dug up for number 6. Let's kick things off with number 1. Andrew Jackson, the 7th U.S. president, the tough guy on the $20 bill. Well, he had a pet parrot named Pole. What's so strange about that? Well, Pole had to be removed from Jackson's own funeral because it wouldn't stop swearing. Apparently, the parrot had picked up some of Old Hickory's more colorful language. Can you imagine being at a presidential funeral and hearing a parrot cursing up a storm? Coming in at number 2, let's talk about Tycho Brahe, the brilliant 16th century Danish astronomer. He had a prosthetic nose made of brass and silver after losing his real one in a sword duel over a mathematical formula. But that's not even the weirdest part. He also kept a pet moose that, according to legend, met its end after drinking too much beer at a nobleman dinner party and falling down a flight of stairs. A drunk moose. At a dinner party, you can't make this stuff up. For number 3, we have Lord Byron, the famous romantic poet. He was a notorious animal lover, but when he went to study at Cambridge University, he was told that pet dogs were strictly forbidden, so what did he do? He found a loophole. The rules said nothing about bears. So naturally, he got a pet bear and would even take it for walks on a chain around campus. The college authorities were not amused, but they couldn't do a thing about it. At number 4, let's talk about the inventor of the Pringles can. His name was Frederick Bohr, and he was so proud of his creation, that iconic tubular can, that he had a very specific final wish. When he passed away in 2008, his ashes were buried in one. Yes, you heard that right, a Pringles can. He chose the original flavor, in case you were wondering. That's some serious brand loyalty. Number 5 takes us to ancient Rome and the infamous Emperor Caligula. We all know he was eccentric, but one of his most bizarre acts involved his favorite horse, Incitatus. Caligula loved this horse so much that he gave it a marble stall, an ivory manger, a jeweled collar, and even a house with furniture and servants to entertain its guests. He reportedly even planned to appoint the horse as a consul, one of the highest political offices in Rome. Talk about horsing around in politics. Alright, we've arrived at number 6, and I promised you this one would be a shocker. Winston Churchill, the legendary British Prime Minister who led his country through World War II, had a very unusual near-death experience in New York City in 1931. He was hit by a car while crossing the street because he forgot that in America, cars drive on the right side of the road. But here's the unbelievable part. The driver of the car was a man named Mario Contassino. Contassino, who was unemployed at the time, felt so terrible that he kept visiting Churchill in the hospital. The two actually became friends, and Churchill later helped him find a job. A future world leader, nearly taken out by forgetting the rules of the road, who then befriends the driver. History is wild. Let's move on to number 7. The brilliant inventor Nikola Tesla, a man whose mind gave us alternating current and so much more, had a very peculiar affection for pigeons. He would feed them in the park every day, and he even brought injured ones back to his hotel room to nurse them back to health. He claimed to love one particular white pigeon as a man loves a woman, and said that as long as he had her, his life had a purpose. He was devastated when she died. At number 8, we have King Charles VI of France, who reigned in the late 14th and early 15th centuries. Later in his life, he suffered from severe bouts of mental illness. During one of these episodes, he became convinced that he was made of glass. He was terrified that he would shatter if anyone touched him, so he had iron rods sewn into his clothing to protect his fragile body. He became known as Charles the Mad because of this and other delusions. For number 9, let's look at Abraham Lincoln. Before he was the great emancipator, Honest Abe was a champion wrestler. He was known for his incredible strength and height. Out of an estimated 300 matches, he is said to have lost only one. In 1992, he was honored for his wrestling prowess with an induction into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, so you can add wrestling champ to his long list of accomplishments. And finally, at number 10, we have the Greek philosopher Empedocles. He was a pre-Socratic thinker who believed he was a divine being and immortal. To prove his godlike status to his followers, he decided to do something dramatic. Legend says he leaped into the crater of Mount Etna, an active volcano in Sicily, expecting to be vaporized and ascend to the heavens. Unfortunately for him, the volcano didn't quite cooperate. It later spat out one of his bronze sandals, revealing his very mortal end. And there you have it, to 10 historical facts that prove truth is often stranger than fiction. From presidential parrots to glass kings and volcano-jumping philosophers, history is filled with unbelievable stories. Which one of these surprised you the most? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this trip through the weird side of history, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories. Ring that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.